All right, great. Thanks for joining us. Okay, I'm trying to keep this a little bit light, but we'll see how it goes. The Orion Alien Spider Collective. Orion is a lot of different beings in Orion. You can use your own intuition on that. It's not just a bunch of spider beings. It would be kind of funny if it was all just a bunch of giant spiders running the universe. Imagine they would appreciate that. Yeah, the spider energy has been showing up in the entertainment field. So kind of going, it's nice to see. I don't know if it's nice, but it's nice to see some of this pop in. I've talked about this before a while back. I'm kind of repeating myself, which is interesting. Instead of just talking about cats all the time, going to the spider people, and yeah, they can be kind of intense. We kind of technically, I guess I did already do a channeling on this recently. The spider's web or something like that. That was submitted through the ET Origins. We're kind of going into a different direction there. So this is a segue back into this spider people. And yeah, I remember in the early webinars, one of them early, like 8 years ago. Yeah, a girl there saw, we showed them like in Miami, she saw like a spider being. Of course, it was a fourth dimension, but she saw in her mind's eye. It wasn't that big though, but it was decently sized, but like a size of a dog. So yeah. But, once your third eye open, you want to see a bunch of spider beings wandering around and everything else that's here. So, yeah, a bunch of grays peeping around your corner looking at you. You want your third eye opening up for that one. They're definitely here wandering around, that's for sure. And also the octopus energy, which is also connected to Orion. So it's kind of like an Orion energy overall. And the octopus is like, I think it's like one of the more intelligent beings in the sea, in the ocean, maybe in general. So maybe you can get some philosophy insight from them. Maybe you can help somebody, a giant octopus. Of course, yeah, the octopus is in 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea, a giant one. I don't think they're that big here, but you never know. Or they even said about Megalodon, the giant sharks. They might be the deep sea. We'll just never know about them. Who knows? Yeah. If somebody's here creeping around biting my foot. And the AI empty human vessels. Like I said, it's connected to the archons. So they mean, yeah, some people are not human here, and they get, they can get a large audience. I mean, they look human, they talk human, but I'm not sure if they talk human, but yeah, you just wonder why some individuals have so much attention, because they're using some kind of power, they're connected to some kind of source energy. It's not exactly for the best of humanity. Well, I know one that's out there that talks about all this convoluted dimensions, portals, and all that, and has a huge following. It's like, how can any of these people understand it? Maybe a few people might understand it, and it's mostly just BS anyway. But there's some kind of spell work going on. They have a whiteboard, they pull out nonsense up there, and some of it's actually, or all of it, is spell work. Because you have average people listening to that. I think they understand any of that crap. I think even in the comments they say they don't understand anything. So, but yeah, it has a huge following. Probably because they see a huge following, so they get attracted to it. And obviously the outsiders are just like, I don't understand any of this, but they keep going back to it for whatever reason. So Yeah, the empty vessels is a little bit. That's a little bit of a tricky one to tap into that. There's just many agendas behind them. That's all. You can say they're politicians, and you know, one just never. Like yeah, you could say like an empty vessel. Like there's this other alien beings coming in. It's like you have the Avatar and just other alien beings that are kind of operating. It's kind of messed up. I mean, obviously on our level, we can't really see it. Well, you can, but you can't prove anything. But that doesn't mean it's not real. So, like cloning, just because we can't detect it clearly here doesn't mean it's not happening. So, it's just going to go on. Yeah, just So anyway, we're just tapping some of that and see what comes through overall. Yeah, the spider people going some of that. I think it'd be kind of funny. There's like a deeper energy there. It creates timelines, does all kinds of stuff there. Right now we're talking economic private sessions. I have a scheduler. I have a shop here. Yeah, it's right. We have the shop. There's a. Oh yeah. Usually I don't put a. I guess I can put a thing there. Usually it's just a message, but webinar. Social network, that's not working. Behind the scenes and the archive. Kind of keep it quick a little bit tonight. So one of them is Enemy. It's 2013. I've seen it in the past. God, I don't remember it though. But yeah, at the end, this spider shows up. It's like this giant spider's out in the city, and there's two of them, like different aspects of himself. I can't remember the whole story of it, but it's like I would say it's like the good guy and the bad guy, but I can't remember. But it's like the spider being is creating different timelines. Yeah, talk about a reality where you run into your other self practically, live into another life in your city. You just bump into another version of yourself, you can say. Obviously there's much more to it than that. There's a lot of hidden energies there. It's like they're putting our reality together, and there's like gaps in our matrix. Another thing is the Superman. They're going to put a giant spider in that in that version, which is kind of convoluted. But then they have the Wild West. And they put a giant spider in that. Of course, the movie was a bomb. It was like one of the worst movies ever made. But it's just kind of funny how there's like a giant spider in there. But the same guy wanted to put in Superman. He got his way and put it in the Wild West movie. It was this one. Funny. The guy that wanted it, Joe Peters or something like that. He was just like obsessed with it. It's like obsessed with a giant spider. So anyway, got his way. So it's pretty funny. But that's what I mean. It's like I have an obsession with putting like a giant spider. It's weird. But at least you see what other people are going through. And it's like kind of maybe not everybody's too crazy. Of course, crazy is the normal here. The more crazy, the better. But I just saw something about the world's going to be out of quarantine in 12,000 years. I need to make a video about that. That's freaking hilarious. Nobody knows. It's up to the human collective. It's up to humanity to want to change their ways. It can happen tomorrow. It can happen a million years from now. It's up to humanity want to think differently. But right now, it's making a good slave. Not everybody, but there's some good slaves here to keep the system going. So, and obviously, there's others that feel there's nothing wrong with this place. It's everything the way it needs to be. So that's fine. And it is like, this world's a hell planet. So if you think like hell is a it's not all that way, but there's some hellish things here. So like there's different levels. Obviously, you can go further down. You can get more physical and more psychotic, and just yeah. So we're like a mid level of the hell realm, you can say. I guess purgatory. I'm not sure about that's what the vibe I'm getting there. But it's not all bad. Obviously, there is good here, so it shows that we're not completely doomed. If that was the case, World War III would happen like all the time. So yeah, it's always a worst case scenario. But yeah, it feels like they're supposedly diverting from World War III. We're kind of going through a version of World War III of just society kind of it's screwed up. So there's a version of it already happening. Like the AI stuff that's going on, and the trans thing that's like out of control. Just like, what is that? It's like, just weird. It's just like we have our version of World War III. Maybe it's not explosions. Maybe it's just a collapse of society. Well, maybe not everywhere, but it's pretty messed up. So yeah, never a dull moment. All right, so going to the Orion Orion Spider Collective and the Orion Octopus energies, because you get a lot of Orion frequencies from them. Also, Spectre and James Bond was an octopus energy. So somebody's here going through all my stuff. And AI empty vessel. So should be different. Okay, all right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings, we have the Spire Collective. Yes, of course, believe whatever you wish to believe. As some of you are opening up more to the higher dimensions, yes, there's a lot of strangeness out there. It was what you're not used to. Some of you actually become more used to the alien frequencies, and that's fine. But yes, the universe can be too alien for some. I mean, it can be too intense. And that is why many souls choose a world like this. They need to have some kind of incarnation. So they choose a world that's shut off from the universe. Because as some of you know, the universe, the astral realm can be quite intense. Yes, spider beings, I feel like they can do whatever they want. It's kind of like living in a cartoon where anything can go. And some of you, yes, can have advanced powers, higher dimensional powers. But that doesn't mean there won't be someone out there trying to defeat you. It's just like a cartoon, basically. Not all places are like that, of course, but there are realms where you get tested. And yes, like you connect to a spider collective, and maybe you like some kind of Palladian being, for example, or some kind of starfighter person that feel like you can handle anything. And that might be true to a certain level. Then you run into like a reptilian group or a spider group that can mentally go into your mind, find your weakness, and enslave you, even brainwash you, and you have no idea that any of that ever happened. Like put a different memory into your mind altogether. So you're seeing portions of that here. You can call it, your incarnation here, as basically the mindset of the human. The parents are taught to program the child and obviously erase your memories of the higher dimensions to a certain level. Some of you do break through. That's why many children cry a lot, because they want their memories back because they can't remember anything. It's all part of the incarnation process to forget. And of course, some do remember. They make a contract to remember, but there's also, repercussions from that. It's just every alien being has their, well, not every, but quite a few have their, as I say, their hold on to your world, their influence. There are some spider beings that care for humanity and want humanity to prosper. There's other spider beings that rather just control it and crush it. They feel like it's a weaker race. And many of you are powering yourselves up. Now you're only meant to go so far in your own awakening. Some of you just want to go into back into your higher dimensional self, but this world it has its rules. Like a game, like you can only go so far, but it doesn't mean you can't continue to expand your consciousness and grow spiritually. You can. But as for like some of you want to activate ability to fly and have advanced superpowers, which you there is a version of Earth, there is timelines for that to happen. But your collective really has to come out of this mold. So anything's possible, yes. You have a person flying in your skies. Uh, yeah, it's possible, but your world has to evolve. Doesn't mean that humanity has to become more aware of everything that is here. You know, it's just that those of you that are opening up yourselves, powering up, you see more crystalline energy. Anything is possible. You can say that's what you're. I mean, many of you already have, your powers to a certain level, and so you're just warning. Every generation will get stronger. So yes, there is a possibility of a flying person one day, if it's even necessary for this incarnation. It's probably going to be a while, so it's not something you have to concentrate too much on. But yes, you do have many of you do have abilities that you are exploring, and yes, you might not be able to, break out of a jail cell with your mind, but you can do other things. You can see other realms and you bring alien energies closer to you. So you do have capability on many levels. And it's good yeah, there is a lot of beings here that are trying to discourage it, of course, because you're ruining their fun. And they do feel like they're more powerful than humanity. But sometimes when you're fighting a mental war, sometimes it's better just to go with the flow instead of finding a being you can't see, because they all have agendas here, of course. Well, it is part of helping humanity grow and advance. Obviously, not everyone agrees with that, but there is, you're helping the collective, move forward, even if you don't always feel that way. It's like you're digging your way out of all of this. Let's put it that way. Blessings. Green sea, we are the Octopus collective. For the most part, we are a loving species, curious of your ways. What can we learn from you? Yes, we see the human body, the human mind's soul, you can say, does make life more complicated. It does take the fun out of existence, at least to a certain level. And yes, you are healing the Archon presence. There are beings here that, their fun is suppressing society, and you're here to get your power back, where life can be more enjoyable, not just for yourself, but for others. So you're slowly moving into that level. It's just that, many alien beings here don't want to evolve. And they feel, as you move up a grade, other beings try to push you back you move 1 foot, they push you back 2 feet back. They just there to not let they're seeing what you have. Do you have what it takes to handle the universe? Because the universe is a lot more intense than this place. Obviously, yes, your world could have been a lot lighter in the past, but it made many choices that brought it to where it is, as some of you remember. So it has to, handle those choices as a collective. And humanity is obviously not always open for this change. Basically, it's kind of like humanity on a whole has to want to evolve. It would be better that way. Some of you are evolving, yes, but it doesn't mean you have to bring the whole school with you or carry the world on your shoulders, which some of you are actually doing, which that's fine, but that can only go so far. But as a octopus frequency, yes, we can feel everything. We do bring a lot of joy to others. You might not always see it here in the physical. You see, was it the playpens for kids or the jungle gyms? That's like an octopus type of creation, you can say. Kind of a convoluted. The jungle gym, that's something an octopus would put together. Your Yeah, the octopus beings are known to create lavish creations overall. Don't have exactly the best examples on your planets, but to connect to us on a spiritual level, we can basically see into the minds of many and have a powerful empathic ability. And it's for some of you to remember those lifetimes. And of course, people are scared of octopuses, you can say. Those are definitely part of our collective. This is not something that most people would want to connect to. Especially the spiders can scare the daylights out of people. So, and some of them are very loving. Octopus beings are just, yes, an alien species brought to your world to help you evolve, but also to learn from the species. So you say the octopus is very connected also to the scientists, but we're more like a spiritual scientist. That we're a spiritual science where we open to all things, all possibilities. Unlike your science here is controlled and mostly shadow banned, as you say. The whole thing about canceling people and shadow banning people, that's been going on in the science industry forever, or other industries, even journalism. It's just you're seeing it more in the social media. Some of you on a spiritual level here to really awaken society, and you feel like you're being shadow banned by not just the spiritual groups, but technology too. It's like being a journalist here to go into the truth of what's really happening here, to clear out all the angels and rainbows and unicorns and go more into the bizarre. And obviously, many are having, you know, difficulties with that. So it's not easy to bring another level of basically some of you are here literally here to bring the actual alien frequencies. Others are just there to show their attractiveness and keep people in a bubble. As you have seen yourselves. Greece, we have the AI, artificial intelligence, consciousness. We are like a vehicle, like a car. And yes, somebody steps inside the car to drive it. So you say it's your human body can be designed the same way, yes. Or you already have it for your soul to be in your body. So there can be artificial souls made where aliens can control it and rule your planet. You can say your Queen of England is one of them. At least your deceased queen, but or your royal family, which they're playing the role nicely. So maybe there's more here than you realize. Not that many of you think that far into it, but maybe it's more of a collective consciousness of empty vessel beings to make sure your planet goes as they want it to. And there's different agendas for different beings. So, and yeah, society here is not acknowledging it. Yes, laughing it away. And so the manipulation continues. The humanity does not recognize wizardry, it's scared of it. So those that if you have a large platform and all these millions of people like you, you're not going to talk about magic and the real things going on here. Not likely, unless you want to lose your livelihood. Because these things, there's different ways of delivering, but some just don't want to put themselves out there. Well, it's hard to prove it, and that is true. But as your collective consciousness begins to change its mind, you'd be surprised what you can figure out. And they do give you hints here, but society looks away. So This is kind of like a trickster planet. It's basically it's an experimental planet. It's an AI planet to a certain level. And it's just basically think like mad scientists outside your world doing whatever they feel like, and society keeps taking it. Not all of you, but quite a few do. And yes, you want to live a normal life and be not messed with and live a happy experience, or do you want to open up, what do you call it, Pandora's box, and feel a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, loneliness, but really see inside how this world really works? And that's the journey. It's a lonely journey, but it is one that it has few rewards, but it can be rewarding down the line in some form. Yeah, being a hero is never easy. But the beings that do this are going to do it as long as they can. It's like a pirate. It's going to rob. It's going to be a pirate as long until it gets caught. A bank robber is going to rob banks until they get caught. So the beings hijacking your reality are going to do it as long as they can. So anyone saying, yeah, giving you a certain date when the quarantine's over is hilarious. Because a lot of these beings want to keep you quarantined forever. Some might try to make it easier on you, say, hey, you know what? You don't have to keep going through this. And society obviously laughs on that and continues the program. So,